Her Excellency Ambassador Mrs. Capaya Rodriguez Gonzalez of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Mr. Mayor Ahmad Al-Aslan Junaid of Pekalongan, Indonesia, League of Cities of the Philippines, Professor John Hawkins, Mrs. Rhea Matute, Executive Director, Design Center of the Philippines, Mrs. Kathleen Verstraete, Regional Director of the British Council, dear representatives and delegates from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, dear experts and speakers, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I would say also dear musicians and dancers who performed just before. It's with great pleasure that I relay the greetings of UNESCO for this Forum on Creative Cities in Southeast Asia. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, namely the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, as well as the Philippine Department of Trades and Industry and Design Center of the Philippines, the Committee on Business and Investment Promotion of the ASEAN, and also British Council, as well as the government of the Philippines. I very much wished I could attend in person to take part in what will undoubtedly be very productive discussions. It's especially significant that this forum be taking place in the 50th year of ASEAN, an extremely important achievement, a great contribution to regional peace and prosperity. ASEAN has continued to strengthen ties between peoples and cultures in one of the world's most populated and diverse regions, in the interest of mutual understanding. Prosperity and development. It's also notable that an organization such as ASEAN, formed originally through economic ties, is also interested in creative industries as an enabler for economic development, and is gradually extending joint efforts into social and cultural development through creativity. ASEAN and UNESCO have made great progress in supporting one another's work over the past years. The framework agreements for cooperation between the two organizations, which was first signed in 2013, was reinforced last year with a view to maintaining through collaboration across sectors. This cooperation contributes to the strategies of both organizations, reinforcing ASEAN Vision 2025 and UNESCO's midterm strategy, as well as the global UN 2030 agenda for sustainable development and the UN urban agenda. The last two of these are especially important as we look towards the future of cities as key centers of human interaction, exchange, and environmental impact. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, together with the new urban agenda, set out an integrated framework for policies and actions that will strengthen cities around the world and improve the lives and livelihoods of those who reside there. Working in parallel and together, UNESCO and ASEAN can support one another in the implementation of the SDGs in Southeast Asia and also around the world. ASEAN is undertaking excellent initiatives in promoting the role of creativity and cultural industries in sustainable development. Last year's ASEAN Culture and Art Cooperation in Jakarta brought together stakeholders from creative industries around the region, facilitating dialogue and encouraging the mobility of artists. It sought to shape the development of networks in cultural industries and strengthen their links, connecting creators with civil society and policymakers working towards common goals. Connections like these are ever more important as creativity becomes an enabler of sustainable urban development and the achievement of global goals at the city level. Cities have, in many ways, always played a central role in the development of Southeast Asia. The ASEAN region has been, for long, a point of passage between cultures which provide travelers with food and shelter, but also where different nationalities, religions, and convictions mix, and where intercultural dialogue is forged. People have converged on Southeast Asian cities since the Spice Road to exchange goods, but also ideas, sharing the results of these encounters around the world. This has shaped the course of world history and uniquely positioned cities in the region as nodes for cultural and creative expressions and exchange. With our over half of the world's population living in cities, and almost 3/4 of all economic activity occurring in urban areas, today's cities are at the forefront of human development. It is estimated that the urban population will top 70% of 9.5 billion inhabitants by 2050. This unprecedented population growth brings with it a lot of challenges. Inequality, for instance, is a big concern in these cities. 825 million people live in slums, and this number keeps rising. The levels of urban energy consumption and pollution are also worrying. Cities occupy just 3% of the world's planet's territory, but account for 60 to 80% of energy consumption and 75% of carbon emissions. Many cities are also more vulnerable to climate change and natural disasters due to their high concentration of people and location. 50 buildings urban resilience. So building urban resilience is crucial to avoid human, social, and economic losses. So in this context, cultural diversity in cities is now more important than ever. A profound shift in human existence. It is changing how people interact with one another, with society, and with the natural and built environment around them. This is particularly relevant in Southeast Asia, where cities are experiencing monumental population growth from all over the region and will continue to do so in the coming decades. While challenging, these shifts present at the same time remarkable opportunities for cultural exchange, creativity, and economic growth. Diversity creates a uniquely fertile environment for innovation. Urban density gives the possibility of high synergy and efficiency with inventive solutions. New ideas are born from new perspectives. The UNESCO Creative Cities Network, UCCN, seeks to help do just that. Safeguard and promote cultural expressions, facilitate the role of cultural and creative industries, and thus contribute to sustainable urban development across all regions, including, of course, Southeast Asia. Created in 2004, the UCCN now counts 116 members in 54 countries. Through collaboration in and between 7 creative fields, crafts and folk art, design, film, gastronomy, literature, media art, and music, member cities seek to create, implement, and share good practices to promote cultural and creative industries, as well as to develop and support actors of these sectors as a tool for urban sustainable development. Indeed, the International Development Agenda, further highlighted and boosted by the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the new Urban Agenda, adopted in the past 2 years, acknowledges the key role of culture, emphasizing particularly the enabling and transformative power of culture and creativity to face challenges and sustainable development. This perfectly resonates with the UCCN mission of placing creativity and culture and cultural industries at the heart of development strategies and plans at the local level, while actively exchanging and cooperating at the international level. Now, it's time for action, and cities are at the center of the global momentum. Currently, 4 cities from ASEAN member countries are UCCN members. They are Bandung and Pekalongan in Indonesia, Phuket in Thailand, and Singapore. They are committed to using creativity as leverage for urban development. Phuket, Thailand. A UNESCO Creative City for gastronomy. Phuket will host this week its first Phuket City of Gastronomy International Symposium. Bringing together the 18 UNESCO Creative Cities of Gastronomy. In doing so, Phuket aims to foster ties between cities from 4 continents while shining a spotlight on the preservation of local and sustainable food traditions. Here, food continues to bring people together across cultural and linguistic borders and leads to new life experience and aspirations. An adamant believer in design thinking. We have seen this yesterday, for instance, or so. Singapore, a UNESCO Creative City of Design, has shared with the network its efforts using design at all levels to tackle social challenges, in the hopes that lessons learned may be beneficial for other cities also. The city's public service transformation program seeks to enhance the quality of life of elderly residents using social design to adapt how public services are delivered. At the same time, Singapore has taken a collaborative approach for fostering creative industries through the Design Singapore Council and the Singapore Design Week, stimulating cooperation and new approaches to support Singapore's vision of inclusive and sustainable design. The city of Pekalongan in Indonesia, a UNESCO Creative City of Crafts and for Arts, has successfully initiated a project entitled Empowerment of Women Through Creative Batik Hubs, through which 3 internet-based study centers have been created and been functioning as centers of information, communication, and creative activities around the batik. Batik, which is a traditional wax-resistant dyeing technique. This is to promote equal opportunities for all, with a particular focus on the empowerment of local women. While different in approach, scope, and impact, each of these projects is an example of cities addressing local challenges through an innovation lens, working with partners at the city and international level. Initiatives such as these help make cities better places in Southeast Asia to live in and to create. Both of these cases work towards accomplishing the Sustainable Development Goals, the attainment of which is central to the Uccn and its mission. Goal 11 of the agenda: make cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable, is especially relevant. It seeks to make cities welcoming, accessible, and inspiring places with opportunities to all. It places particular emphasis on enhancing inclusive and sustainable urbanization and capacities for participatory, integrated, and sustainable urban planning around the world. It is precisely this vein. The Uccn is the laboratory and the forum for cities in their efforts towards sustainable urban development. It allows cities to to share their accomplishments achieved and experience gained at the local level, while learning from those of other cities working towards similar goals at an international level. This is crucial as cities seek to meet transnational challenges. Reconciling tradition and modernity and linking heritage to creativity is a challenge many cities face, as they seek to develop both economically and socially. Placing local cultural practices and expressions at the forefront can differentiate cities as they plan for the future. Equally essential, however, is harnessing the power of youth. Today, there are more youth in the world than ever before. Young people between the age of 10 and 24 represent 1.8 billion of the global population, according to the United Nations. More than ever, young women and men are change makers, building new realities for themselves, their community, and for the future of the world. Youth are driving change and innovation, seeking new opportunities to learn and work together for a better future. So it turns out that the cultural and creative industries are among the fastest growing in the world, with about 73 million young people currently facing unemployment worldwide. These industries can be a key source of social and economic empowerment for young people. According to studies, creative industries, by generating nearly 30 million jobs worldwide, made up to 11% of all employment within a country and employed more people aged 15 to 29 years old than any other sector. Promoting young talent is therefore crucial to tackling poverty and inequality, enhancing social cohesion, and fulfilling the potential of youth. As a result, UNESCO believes that involving youth in the creative economy is a sustainable investment and encourages to do so in all its activities on youth. Cities in Southeast Asia are home to large populations of young people, equally creative as they are ambitious. Supporting their work and engaging them in the policy process is therefore crucial to build successful cities in the future. In this regard, Bandung, Indonesia, a UNESCO Creative City of Design, is an excellent example. The city aims to establish hubs, 30 creative hubs, while supporting 100,000 new creative entrepreneurs over a 5-year period. The city's significant population of young residents is at the center of its plan for sustainable urban development. A grassroots approach has been used by the city to engage young creators and shape policy based on their input, notably via the Bandung Creative Center, a strong example of a collaboration approach to culture and creativity in urban development. So UNESCO looks forward to welcoming more Southeast Asian cities to the UCCN as the network continues to grow. The UCCN call for applications take place every 2 years, with the 2017 call closing on 16th of June. UNESCO also looks forward for future cooperation between UNESCO's 4 field offices in Southeast Asia: Bangkok, Jakarta, Phnom Penh, Hanoi, cities and regional institutions to promote creativity and culture in regional development. This will strengthen UNESCO's work globally with organizations for development and cooperation, such as the ASEAN. With this, I would like to reiterate my thanks to ASEAN, Manila and the Philippines, and other partners for inviting UNESCO to take part in this excellent event. UNESCO remains committed to cultural diversity in the city level in Southeast Asia and commends the work of governments in placing creativity at the center of the cities of tomorrow. I hope that this has further inspired the interests of the ASEAN countries in culture-driven sustainable urban development, as well as the possibilities that culture can offer in building creative and inclusive societies. And in conclusion, I wish every success to the ASEAN Creative Cities Forum. Thank you.